Hello guys, I'm Shane Davis, 20-year comic book veteran. I'm going to talk a little bit about Superman, mainly, but some interesting things. Now, we've done multiple videos on gay Superman and other diversity swap characters and why these things happen. And a lot of people are going to say, well, it's because of woke, it's because of this, it's because of that. But sometimes, just sometimes, it's legal reasons, and this doesn't actually always pan out. For certain reasons, you can see characters like, say, Miles Morales Spider-Man. You go like, yeah, that's an organic thing. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It was built by a corporation trying to hang on to a character, an IP, a transmedia IP, intellectual property, to keep it from becoming public domain. Sometimes this isn't even about the creators, but in some cases it is about the estate. And with the Superman movie coming out this year, you know, this is a big crack for Warner Brothers to try to get Superman to take again. And you would think all the Siegel and Schuster lawsuits are over. You know, the Supreme Court basically made them settle and all of that, except Warner Brothers is getting hit with a new Superman copyright lawsuit ahead of new movie. And this is going back to British law. Suit cites rights of co-creators estate under British law. Estate says Warner failed to pay royalties as required. This would be the previous Superman movies that they did, or anything with Superman in it, the Justice League, etc. Warner Brother promises to vigorously defend against this suit. Now, the Superman suit, in a nutshell, shouldn't have been a thing. Really, this character should be publicly owned at this point. It should be, out in the clear. And basically, everybody wanted the company to win this lawsuit because it would be a case for every superhero, basically, to start going back to the estates. Now, some companies during this started to get ahead of it and start building characters like Miles Morales, Spider-Man, to get ahead of, say, the Ditko estate coming around and stuff like that, and suing the bejesus out of Marvel that they would have their own version of Spider-Man. This is also if these characters become public domain, which Superman actually will. So there's a reason that the estate is still trying to get some money out of this while they still can. So a lot of this has caused people to try to build what I call a good opportunity for a forced diversity in a character, rename the character Jonathan Kent Superman, right? And you would think that would please the corporate owners, like whether it be Disney, Warner Brothers, that they want that stuff, right? Because that's what the comic company is there for, is to help them with some sort of legal IP that they can use for movies, TV shows, video games, and stuff like that. Now, there's two things that the comic book companies could do. One is to build fresh new characters for their corporate overlords, which isn't that easy to do anymore. Quite frankly, there isn't another Jack Kirby coming around, or Steve Ditko, that's willing to give his best ideas to a mega corporation and not get shit out of it. So those days, I think, are long gone, to be honest. And with things like crowdfunding comics and stuff like that, there's less incentive for creators to give their best ideas away to mega corporations. And you're even seeing cases like, and I did a video on it, Rob Liefeld probably building one of the most popular characters to come out of Marvel Comics in our lifetime, saying that he's getting snubbed on the red carpet and he's not working with Marvel anymore, so on and so forth. So a lot of reasons for people to be jaded when it comes to working with the big two. And I can even testify that to a little bit. I mean, sometimes I have to chase and knock down DC's door a little bit, knock on it a little bit to get paid for characters I've created and I have equity deals in. It's not exactly the best situation as a comic book creator to give ideas to these companies. I can honestly testify to that. So this thing with Jonathan Kent, here's Tom Taylor really cashing in on the LGBTQ plus community and gay Superman. A lot of people are like, Shane, why are you using that thumbnail, bro? It's like, because Tom Taylor's still using it in his resume. But here's the thing. What if the research and development end starts to overreach, right? You're pushing diversity so much that it becomes problematic. And I found this interesting. Jonathan Kent named Super Son, not Superman, Super Son. Now, for people that know, Jonathan Kent was originally in a book that was popular around Rebirth with Damian called Super Sons. It was like a Robin and a Superboy. And then Michael Bendis basically took that character and aged him up just so they could turn him gay and call him Superman. I'm not even making that up. If you're a normie, that actually happened. So, and now what they have is their backs to the wall where they try to pander to the woke community for the sake of building a new Superman that would be legally distinct from anything that could be public domain that nobody really bought. They try to save face and say after the book got canceled, he got a miniseries. It wasn't being canceled. Again, DC Comics has to save face and re-up Tom Taylor's contract here to make sure that it looks like, Tom Taylor is not a one-hit wonder or anything like that. So that they didn't make a bad decision. They have to get like photos with Tom Taylor with the DC logo and promise that they didn't make a bad decision here. And now they have to scrape the name Superman off this character because he is problematic. This is a problematic thing going into 2025 where it's supposed to be the year of Superman. And worse yet, this James Gunn movie is supposed to kick off the entire DC new movie slate. And some of the most relevant last articles coming out of Superman as far as comics go is he's gay. Think about that. That's problematic when you're trying to sell the entire country on a love triangle between Lois Lane, Clark Kent, and Superman all over again to a new generation. Hopefully that then you're going to kick off a bigger film franchise out of it. This is kind of crazy when you think about it. And that's when I'm like, this is, I don't know if the comic division overreached. Trying to move furniture. Let's just use that term. You're moving furniture to keep your overlord thinking you're doing a job, that you're freshening the coffee a little bit, that you're freshening the pot. You're dusting off Spider-Man and repurposing him for a new action figure or a new costume change. That's a Marvel Legends toy and all of this. But you're also trying to make sure, like, what if Peter Parker wasn't Spider-Man? What if it's Miles Morales Spider-Man? Now we own this for another 90 years or 100 years. And all of that, as these characters are trickling up in, like, I think 2035, like, we're going to see a lot of DC characters come up for public domain. And you can see, like, with characters like Popeye, Winnie the Pooh, Steamboat Willie, that these characters, the second the clock ticks over, there's already a parody horror film already out, and they're getting while the getting's good. So all these characters, they're losing the grasp on. But what if comics is overreaching to the point of embarrassment that they actually now have to give this character a new costume? And not just Jonathan Kent, gay Superman, but we also have Dreamer over here, which from my understanding is a trans character. And they're put in a random book that they will be able to sell. Okay, you can't sell Dreamer on their own. You can't sell Jonathan Kent, gay Superman on their own. So we're just going to shuffle them over into Secret Six. We'll put them in a team with rotating villain cast and characters like Deadshot that are somewhat popular and stuff like that. Catman, who cares? And we can always throw Killer Croc and Joker in there and Harley Quinn, I guess. But we're just going to throw them in this rotating cast of characters that are bad guys. So what is this saying? Like now that now gay Superman is technically a bad guy? Because Secret Six is predominantly bad. And again, another example of overreaching. I want to point this out. Rob Liefeld, they've shot this movie 4 times. Box office, Captain America, Brave New World. Again, another forced diversity swap of a character. And there's a whole thing on this, right? Black Captain America, Howard Mackie talking about like Captain America is not all about America and stuff, whatever. He misstepped, misquote, didn't say the right thing, whatever. I mean, we're in an interesting time where all these forced diversity comic book decisions, right, by SJWs is really, I don't know, the rubber's hitting the road on this. It's like, this is what it's going to look like on paper when it comes to your corporate overlords and them trying to make a bajillion dollars. This movie has a crazy budget. According to the article, budget was $100 million and it may only opened a 95 million opening. That is crazy. Some of these things are not cheap to make. They're super expensive. And even like in the case of this one movie, a lot of people are just only interested in seeing Red Hulk, and he may only be in the movie 5 to 10 minutes at max. So this is a crazy, crazy world we're living in. It's interesting how comics basically bought into this hook, line, and sinker. And I think all this is really bad for comics in the end, because all the troubles of just publishing that everybody's facing today with Diamond and how that's a changing landscape, and digital never took off, all of these things. One of the things comics have been leaning on, and I've been in a room with these people, is Warner Brothers doesn't care about ourselves. They don't look at our numbers. They make too much money as a big company altogether. Even if we profited, they don't really care. It's like nothing to them. The reality is, though, but if you're overstepping with bad decisions and forced diversity pushes with these characters, and they can't do anything with them, or say like the case of Jonathan Kent Superman, that this is actually problematic. What you did with Superman and the headlines you made are somehow to Warner Brothers problematic, so problematic that you have to push this character, change his name, and push him off into another book. And the only reason this character is even in this book, by the way, is just so the community doesn't turn against you. That's how you box yourself in the corner from pandering. Now, you can't get rid of this character. You have to do something with him constantly. So push him in this team book, change his name, and hope to God nobody brings up that Superman was kissing a boy when everybody's trying to warm up to the idea of him kissing Lois Lane. If you guys will, hit like, subscribe, ring the bell for notification. I'm curious, what do you think is going to happen in 2025 comic publishing? Because look, people are going to like say, Shane, the movies are one thing, the comics are another thing. I understand that a lot of comic decisions are made to appease corporate overlords that make these movies. And right now, this is a very good sign that Warner Brothers maybe doesn't like the direction of DC Comics or the things that they've been doing in the past and maybe the future. And these are problematic decisions. And honestly, this Captain America movie doesn't do too well, which it's not looking like it is. What does that actually mean for Marvel publishing? If Marvel can't give them a new twist on a character that they can go to the box office with, how interested are they in comics in general? Also, while you're at it, maybe help us get to $262,000 on Inglorious Rex Volume 3. Go out here, check this out. It's a beautiful campaign by beautiful people. This is our crowdfunded stuff, all creator-owned. We have Volume 1 and 2 you can buy on the shop, or you can get all 3 books here in this one campaign. This is the 3rd volume in this smash hit rip-roaring monster adventure. I'll leave you guys with a trailer for this, and we'll catch you guys again with another video.